Oh, okay. 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 So, I'm going to explain why I wanted to take a gap year in the first place. Well, one reason is to, I guess, gain independence, because I guess coming up from school, I was under like I was under my the house of my parents. I've never been really financially independent, and for the first time, I had to be able to afford things on my own, and I guess financially, especially because I had to. It's my first step of being an adult, and I guess the Dun program is quite pricey. It's like I guess it's €1,000. So I had to that summer between finishing school, finishing my exams and done. I had to earn money on by myself, and by that I was doing babysitting for about 2 months. It was super low wage, super long hours. The kids couldn't even speak English. They spoke Arabic. It was really tough, and I guess it was hard getting a job because nobody wanted people without qualifications, or especially in a town like Cavan, need connections to get a job basically, and we have none. So I was on my own really, and it was just through my mom that I could get that babysitting job and be able to somewhat afford Dun. And it was just my first taste of adulthood, going to Dun and being able to finance myself. And also, like, I wasn't ready for university. I felt like I needed more clarity and support and guidance, and I needed to face the wider world. But I felt unprepared basically. And I needed to become more stronger and more independent, with more concrete values and morals. And just growing up, I was always the person like following the crowd. I never really had a mind for my own. And I was always waiting for someone to lead the way rather than me paving the path for myself. And I was finally ready to take the wheel and not be passenger in my own ride. So Dun begins, and very quickly I was just hit with my limitations, like simple tasks like talking. I was going in maybe thinking I'd be faced with like more spiritual problems, or I don't know, the things that you'd expect to be faced with on a program. But for me, it was just talking, like discussing just random things like what you think about God, or how you want your life to lead, or just your thoughts on just random topics. And I just realized then that I never had the practice of expressing and articulating myself and my emotions and my feelings. I just never actually took time to think about those stuff. And for the entirety of that 1.5 months, I was on my confidence level was really low, because everyone could speak so well and clearly and just express themselves really well. And I guess I couldn't do that as well. And so we had many like team discussions and sharings with one another. And there was like a pattern where like everyone was asked the same questions. And over time, I guess I kept repeating the same answers, but on top of that, I could add to my answers. And it just gave me a good chance to be able to practice talking with other people. It was really refreshing, I guess. Next slide. So, that was our group for Dun. It was 51 days. We represented 6 continents of the world, especially through our parents' nationalities as well. So, It's pretty cool bunch. Yeah, next slide. So later on the program, we were thrown into fundraising. This is one thing that I just did not want to do. It just seemed like such a scary concept for me. Just, I don't know. I absolutely loathed it for the first while. I felt like just walking the streets, walking door to door, I felt like an absolute nuisance. Just selling like these overpriced candles, beeswax candles that nobody wanted. And I guess I just hated it. The benches, walking down the streets were my biggest, he's laughing there, but like, is my biggest enemy, because like, you just make so many excuses throughout the day just to sit down and take like an hour-long break. It was, man, I had so many problems on my first condition. And I hated fundraising. Like our goal, our average, we had to make an average 110 euros a day, which seems like nothing, but for me, my first day I made like 50 euros. And like, if, yeah, I guess, I just didn't push myself at all. Because like we'd be at risk of being kicked off the fundraising team if we didn't make the average. And that was so scary to me. I was like, where would I go? You have to be stranded somewhere. And you just be left alone. So I was like freaking out. And because of that, I just couldn't gain much internally because I was so focused on selling the candles. It was during that time, it was winter. So it'd get dark around 4 p.m. And that's when I just started to hit rock bottom. I just couldn't fundraise after 4 p.m. So I just find a bench or just sit at a train station for 2 hours and just wait for my pickup, because I just couldn't go door to door and like bother people through their evenings. Or yeah, it was terrible. First condition, I hated it so much. And yeah, that sort of lasted for the entire condition. It was only 10 days, but like the longest 10 days of my life. But yeah, that was the end of our first condition on Done. We only had one condition. We had more education, blah, 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 but I felt like I needed more, I guess. We had an opportunity of carrying on doing Mission 1, which was started in March. But that had entailed 2 fundraising conditions, and that, I don't know, that I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Sorry. It was only 18 days, but like, that was the only thing preventing me from going fundraising. Plus I need more money. It was another 1,000 euros. And I was like, yeah, I can't do it. I don't have that money. Yeah, I couldn't get a job either again. And so at that point, I was like, this is in March, like about January. And I lost hope, and I was like telling to Ashling that I can't go on the next part of Done, Mission 1. And the thing is, like, the next thing I checked my phone, and this is about like midnight, and I just found this post on Facebook about like personal fundraising in Belgium. And I was like, I know, it just clicked to me. I was like, wait, this is so crazy, because literally the minute before that, I was telling Ashling that I couldn't go to Mission 1 because I don't have money. But then, I don't know, this thing is really God-given, or it's a clear sign to God that he wants me to keep going, and he wants me to develop even further. And so I just booked the flights. I was like, okay, I'm going to Belgium. I need that money. Although I hate fundraising so much, I was willing to do it just for the sake of developing myself, because it'd be such a lost opportunity if I didn't go. At this moment I felt 100% sure that God had my back and that he had a plan in store for me. And yeah, also the only reason I could go fundraising in Belgium is because, next slide, is because I spent a few days with Vicky and her kids, just look after them, and the only reason I can go is because of that. Because like I had enough money to go, because of course you have to pay for product and accommodation and transport and everything for fundraising. It's expensive. And the only reason I could go is because of that. So thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because after that I had the exact amount of money I needed to go to Belgium. And yeah, it was pretty weird, I think. And I had a really good time, and Belgium gave me the confidence I needed to keep going fundraising on Mission 1. Yeah, so next slide. Yeah, so Mission 1 started in March. And yeah, already 3 days after the program started, we went into our next fundraising teams. And yeah, we were sent off again. For my team, we had a long 12-hour drive to Hamburg in Germany. Next slide. Yeah, so we went to Hamburg. For this condition, I wanted to redeem myself and fix what I struggled with in my first condition and really push myself. I guess Hamburg is more known for being a bit more wealthier than we went to Siebenstein in Austria. And also we had the Easter eggs, which are really known for selling well. And so I was like on an all-time high. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do well. I'm not going to be kicked off the fundraising team. I'm not going to be stranded. I was really pumped, and I was really confident in myself. But then, although I was happy and confident, I just wasn't gaining as much internally because I was so, I don't know, I was just a bit too cocky, or I was a bit like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was too stagnant, I guess. But my team, however, so it was really interesting. We were 9 people, and this 9 people, I just didn't know where to place myself because I was basically stuck between 5 Americans and 3 Australians. And so they're complete opposites of each other. Like, Americans are so loud. I've never been in. They're such a loud team. Oh my god, I'm such a quiet person. Like, if you're stuck in a van with 5 Americans, you'd go crazy. And 12 hours straight in a van, like, it's crazy. So at the dinner table, you'd have to be. I was literally stuck in the middle between like conversation between Abraham and the biblical parallels, or rappers and burgers. I didn't know. Where I don't know. I don't know. I joined the Aussies, but like I had no idea. It's just, but yeah. Besides that, it was alright. It was interesting. But yeah, back to fundraising. I did do a lot better externally, as I said. Like crazy well. I did like, my average was maybe like 250 a day. But like thanks. But I was still scared to do apartments and shops and actually approaching people in the streets. I know the thought of doing apartments just scared me so much because if you're in a big apartment block, it just feels like nobody can see you. But like, if you get kidnapped, like you won't be seen or anything. Or and I just didn't do apartments at all. I was so scared. And yeah, I just didn't try hard enough in that condition. But yeah, the team was great. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. And then that condition slipped by, and sooner than later we were put into another team for our last condition, our third condition, in Lana. Rory's favorite area. Lana. So after another long 8-hour drive with interesting people, yeah, that was when they were announcing the teams. That was the one place I did not want to go to. It was like, there's a list of places that teams would be sent to, and Lana was at the bottom of the list. I was like, no, I'm not going to Lana. I can't go to Lana. I heard so many terrible stories on Lana. Like, it's known to be the worst fundraising place ever. But deep down inside, I just knew I'd be going. I knew like God would be like, you'd be like, he'd throw a curveball and be like, yeah, sorry, you're going. You need this push. So like when I found out I would be going to Lana, I wasn't too surprised. I just knew I'd be going. It was inevitable. But looking back at it now, I'm actually so grateful that I went. Like I truly, through going to Lana, I really got the true, authentic fundraising experience. Yeah, all those super harsh rejections and screaming and shouting and dogs and the rugged, steep and the challenging landscape, the mountains I had to climb up. It was just, it really just made me an overall like grounded person, and like a more stronger, resilient person. And yeah, just being able to get up and keep going after the many mental breakdowns, it just made me feel really powerful, and it just, my faith in God became much stronger, because you're just so lonely at the end of the day, and the only person you have really is God, and you may feel like you're talking to yourself like a crazy person, but yeah, you have no other choice but to go crazy, I guess. And yeah, Lana really pushed me and encouraged me to, I guess, to be one with him, because I was genuinely like struggling with every aspect of myself and being hit with all my limitations at once, and yeah, you had no other choice but to face them. And knowing God was with me gave me the strength and courage to become the most free I've ever been. You had no other choice because like there's so little houses to choose from, and you had 8 hours to fundraise. You really had to go up to every single person to meet your average goal. So yeah, you just had to do it. You had no other choice. And yeah, eventually I just had no fear to do anything, and I literally just approached anyone. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, the biggest thing I've taken from fundraising was having the experience of pushing yourself to your absolute limit, exceeding all your expectations and letting go of all your concepts of yourself and others, and doing things that you thought were absolutely impossible. And this is what I will take on for the rest of my life, really. Just knowing that you've done things that you thought you couldn't do ever. Yeah, and comparing fundraising to other many like challenges in your life, fundraising will forever be my biggest challenge. And knowing that I've overcome it, it's just, for me, it's the biggest driving force, in my life. But yeah, this gap year, I can say that fundraising had the biggest impact on me. Since I'm not really mentioning the other activities that we've done, fundraising definitely it really pushed me, and I feel like I've really developed into the kind of person I want to be in the future, and gave me that picture of who I want to be. And yeah, as one brother from Australia, David Saver, said, fundraising is like a spiritual dojo. Your limits are always visible. And yeah, I think that's really true. You have no other choice but to confront them. He gave really good advice. And yeah, there's so much to say about it, but I don't know. I do have a lot of stories, but I just don't know if they'd be, interesting enough. But yeah, pretty much, it's a month later after it finished, and since it finished, I felt like, when I came back, I just felt like I had something to do. I felt like coming home, I had such a schedule undone, and I felt so empty. I just didn't know where to start. And But yeah, like the point of doing a program is not just for the experience during that time, but carrying on what kind of a person you are and who you've developed into and what you want to carry on doing, and using those tools that you've gained to shape your life. Yeah, some people tend to like stick or like tend to not move after the program. That they only remember the good times and they don't keep carrying on what they've learned. And I feel like I'm the kind of person to do that. But yeah, I'm like really trying to take control of my life and try to remind myself what kind of person I wanted to be. But yeah, funny story. Next slide. So one Sunday, Junks asked me if I was going to any Chanyang event, and I was like, I just scoffed and I was like, nah, the fun, like Chanyang, like what the heck? No. I was definitely like, yeah, I'm not going. I was like, I'm super skeptical of like this whole aspect of our church and ancestral liberation and Chanyang. I just didn't really appeal to me, and it just didn't make any sense to me. But then 3 days after that, I just got the email from Pat saying that like there's a Chanyang team workshop or something in Livingston House, and just like that Belgium post I got on Facebook, I just knew that I have to go. Something was pushing me to go, and I know that it would benefit me in the long term and it would clear up some stuff. So it's just like that. I just knew I had to go. I knew that was the place I had to be to, I guess, just to develop more and to use my time wisely when I have all this time before uni. And yeah, I just also like fit my schedule really well. And yeah, just giving something back to people and giving my time and energy, and that 5 hours practice a day on the keyboard. It really, you think it's easy, but it's so hard. Like my back, I just was gonna break after the day. Honestly, it was so hard. And yeah, also I managed to bring Doyle and Dylan over. Somehow they came. I don't know how, but they felt the urge to come. And yeah, I just emailed back and I said that I was interested in going. And yeah, I know that it's Heavenly Parent pushing me to do these kind of things, and because I know that this is something I would never do. Even last year, thinking about it, like this is completely out of my comfort zone. I wouldn't even think of doing it. And yeah, there's just something pushing me to do these things. And although when I booked the flights, I just really regretted it. I was like, what am I doing? This is crazy. How do I explain to my friends what I'm doing? They're asking me what I'm doing in England, and like, well, sorry. I just don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It just really cleared up a few things for me and got me understanding that aspect a bit more of our church and understanding God and spirituality a bit more. Yeah, it was definitely worth it to go. But yeah, they really enjoyed it. Doyle really enjoyed it, I know. As you can tell, they're just where they sitting in the train station over there. They were just like, it was really early in the morning, but I knew that they were really sad to go, and they really enjoyed the English VCs over there. They're really cool. Yeah, they really liked it. And yeah, I came back on Monday, and since then I was just planning my summer, going to more workshops, staffing, trying to make more use of my time. Yeah, my parents may argue if I gain anything from my gap year, but I can say that there is definitely something going on the inside. It may not show on the outside, but inner change will eventually lead to outer change and will eventually come to fruition if I keep feeding myself with challenges and keep developing through experiences like this. So yeah, at the moment I feel like I'm a bit of a low, and I don't feel like I'm moving much, but I know that there's something inside, something sparked inside, and that's what matters the most. Yeah, so that's what I did since October.
Okay, thanks very much, Tyler. I never went fundraising myself, but I heard a lot of stories about it, and I can tell that a lot of people in the room here can relate to how difficult fundraising is. I might get that experience one day, but who knows? Okay, so on to our final song here.